All right. Good evening, relatives, and welcome to the Theory of Relatives podcast. This is episode one, the inaugural podcast. I am Alex. Good
I'm
evening.
Derek. I'm Derek.
Hey, G.
Good evening. I am Nick. Checking in.
Checking in.
All right.
1 2 1 2.
Oh, it looks like Nicky's gone.
Did I sound like
Really?
a rapper?
Yeah, with Nick.
I'm Nick.
All right. So,
Checking
today's topics are DMX, RIP,
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Elon Musk and his creation of possibly Jurassic Park, Ray Fisher and the DC universe versus the DC universe, Paul Pierce and his antics on ESPN, and Earth, Wind, and Fire versus
Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Isley
So
Brothers.
You ever
yeah,
get their names?
no.
Nah, let me stop.
Sorry about that. So go ahead. How do we want to go ahead and start it? Any of these topics are free.
Yo, let's just shoot the breeze, man. Just shoot the shit. What y'all want to tackle first? Man, let's tackle DMX first, man, because
Let's do the first things first. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, man.
First things first. Yeah.
R.I.P. DMX.
First off,
So many
R.I.P.
memories.
DMX.
With we'll be telling our age a bit. All through high school, DMX was that dude,
he's that fucking
and
dude.
into young adulthood. So
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty impactful to hear that to hear of his passing. So
Yeah,
saw-
it is.
Yeah.
I saw over by his hospital, a lot of the people were showing out their love. They were playing all his music, blasting it. And then they had the Rough Riders, kind of out there with the motorcycles. It was beautiful, because, growing up, me and my brother, we listened to it all the time. DMX was one of the staples that he played in his house in his room. I remember the posters, the bloody poster on the wall. I thought he was going
That's in my
crazy.
yeah.
No,
it
he
was
wasn't
good
going
time.
crazy. He came in the game crazy.
That's right.
Blood of my
I forgot
blood.
which album that was.
Blood of my blood.
Yeah.
Blood of my blood,
Yeah.
flesh, my flesh. Yeah. It's so crazy when people die. You do a retrospective, and you forgot that they did so many
Yeah.
different projects. Like I forget. I almost forgot that he was supposed to be in Murder
Really?
Inc. And yeah, I believe so. Like the early incarnations of Murder Inc. included DMX.
Wow.
And then it
Yeah.
morphed into Earth Gotti, Ja Rule,
Jay-Z.
and
Oh yeah.
Ashanti and Co.
When it was supposed to be
Yeah, and Jay-Z. Yeah, the early
Jay
incarnations.
Z. I think Jay-Z, Ja Rule, and DMX were like the original Murder Inc.
DMX.
No, I think Biggie was
Originally
part of
Murder
Inc.
Inc.
too.
Yeah.
I think Biggie. I think so.
Really?
I'm
wow.
maybe I'm tripping.
Because DMX is post Biggie. Yeah, I know it was definitely Jigga. I'm showing my age. This is for the 35 and up people. And no disrespect to this Gen Z, but this is our time. The niggas that was in their 20s.
Yeah, when we was outside. When we was outside. Y'all wasn't outside.
Listen, man, this young generation,
when Jersey dresses was popping.
right?
But let me get off
The
that
Timberland,
tangent.
the
But
Timberland
yes,
stilettos.
Ja Rule,
Whoosh.
Timberland,
The
yeah, the
Manolos.
Manolos.
The jersey dresses, the
Oh,
throwbacks, the 2XL,
Jersey
3XL
dresses,
throwbacks. Come on,
Let me
man.
tell you something.
3XL throwbacks.
Nah, real
Word.
shit, man. Like yo, real shit though. DMX. People don't realize how much of a powerhouse. Well, the young generation they're figuring that out now. But like yo, DMX was a powerhouse when he was on.
Prime.
Like yo, nobody could drop around the same time he could drop. He just flush them out. You know what I mean? He was flushing niggas out. And then when you go back and listen to his catalog, this dude had a gang of bangers, yo.
Yeah.
Gang of bangers, man.
Not an exexaggeration.
I
It's
posted
legit.
I posted in my stories like all the songs that resonated with me. It was like a string of hits. It was just like and you have like a memory for each one, and it's like, oh my god.
Yes, that's one of the great things about his stuff. Like it really jogs your memory. Like I remember the 4-2-3, 4-3-2-1.
Oh, that's our
I
introduction to
remember
Oh, I forgot that.
vividly.
Oh.
Vividly, I remember dudes in my classroom. I'm at my locker, walking in the hallways, and kids in the hallway, "Stay out the dark," reciting his whole verse, because that's when he blew up. That's when he stepped on the scene and just set
blew up.
everything on fire.
Yeah.
He's one of the most memorable people on the track. Even though, shout out to Cannabis.
Cannabis.
Greg knows Cannabis better than I.
Cannabis.
But yeah, he definitely had a unique and interesting voice that has never been duplicated, and he's definitely a rare breed. And he made his mark with his career.
Yes,
Pun
definitely.
intended, pun fully intended with the rare breed, being the
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yo, one thing that really made that DMX passing really made me understand is that his it made me really realize, like, his battle with addiction was not who he was. That was just something he was battling. You know what I mean? And to know his addiction started without his consent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's
the track.
And it's really fucked up that his story, like somebody just slipped him something. That's a very common story, and that happens to a lot of people. That's how addiction happens with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And I was listening to a different video, Star. Y'all all know who Star is from Star and Buck Wild Hot 97. One of his callers called in and was basically saying, like, bottom line though, no matter how famous and how successful he was a crackhead. And then her point was basically that if he was anybody else that didn't have fame and notoriety, you just be ignoring him. You just get the fuck out of here, junkie. You know what I mean? You just you dismiss him. But his, when you really think about it, like, he's somebody that battled addiction the same way these people in the streets were battling addiction, and people accepted that about him, and just still treated him like somebody they love. And there's a lot of people, and that just makes you think, like, people who are battling addiction and truly cannot get out of its grip, they deserve to be treated like human beings as well.
Agreed.
And
absolutely.
And I mean, but there are some people, once they become addicted to a substance, they just become a different person. You just can't do anything with them.
Can't save them.
But it just makes me realize. It just really made me realize, like, man, everyone deserves to be treated like somebody who can be salvaged, who can be who has the ability to be redeemed.
Because you remember, to piggyback on that point, before Malcolm X was Malcolm X, he was Malcolm Little. Okay,
right.
So if cancel culture was a thing, Charlemagne says this all the time. If cancel culture was a thing back then, everyone he would have been dropping bars, and people would have been like, "Oh yeah, Mr. Street Pimp Hustler Drug Dealer, we know about you." It's like, that has nothing to do with the message I'm trying to give y'all now.
Exactly.
Yeah, we know who you are. No, you know who I was. I'm not that person anymore.
And also, Malcolm X was a heroin addict at one point too. He was on heroin too.
Wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah. So, really, we have, but and it's great that they did. People like X and people like Malcolm X did these great things despite of whatever demons they were battling.
Right.
You know what I mean? We still have to show love to the people who don't have that type of notoriety, who weren't able to build a legend. So we have to learn that, people with addiction, you have to kind of learn to kind of separate their addiction from who they actually are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, as
It
long
takes
as
a
they're not
good-
like breaking
takes a
into your
good
house and
person.
stealing your fucking TV and shit.
Right.
And even then, when you're on a substance, it dehumanizes you. It makes you do things that you would never do on a sound mind too.
Yeah.
But of course, there are certain things that you can't redeem and take back. But I think for him, thankfully, it never reached a point where his addictions destroyed other people. I'm sure it was hard on those that were directly related to him, those were that close to him, because you don't want to watch somebody you love deteriorate and struggle. But at the same time, you saw that he was still able to show his humanity, to be vulnerable, to be honest and thoughtful and sensitive. Because I almost forgot in many ways, like all the prayers he was doing. He did that from the very jump. That was in his first
On
album.
every album.
On every album, and
album.
he's literally bearing his soul, like something that
Mhm.
you don't see in rap at all. It's always bravado and I'm too cool for life kind of thing. And he was probably one of the few artists that were very raw and, like you said, Greg, transparent like that. I'm sure that there are other rappers, but they're not coming to mind right now. But I'm sure there are other people that are honest like that. But he definitely wore his life on his sleeve and never pretended to be something he wasn't, good or bad.
Yo, I remember the one of the tracks was "I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crack.
Transparent.
Yeah.
Yo,
Battling addiction. He said it from the jump. It was like, wow.
And that makes him great. He battled it, and then to me, I saw one of his interviews, and he was just like, "Yo, I know if I left today, I lived a great life."
Yeah.
And then when you did that, legacy, your name is still going on to this day. You have people tattooing, his album covers on arms and stuff. This is cool. Oh yeah, anything.
Yeah.
So he definitely left his legacy out here. I was definitely scared. I hope this Jay-Z and Beyonce buying his masters and giving it to his kids is true. Because I know he does have a lot of kids, and then I know with that many kids, it can get ugly. So I was really 17.
17?
17, my
17.
God. Up from 15.
17.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
He did some living, goddamn.
Definitely lived. Definitely lived. So, definitely, I hope it's true, because right now, on Spotify, everything is, super increased. I hope they see some residual from all of this. Definitely has a lot of mouths to feed.
Go stream his music, everybody, just for a week.
Yeah.
If the whole world streams his entire catalog for 1 week, they'll be good.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know.
Yeah, I played some tracks today. I definitely. It was a nice trip down memory lane. I was like, damn, it stinks when they brought the topic, is like Jay brought up the topic. This is another relative soon to come, but giving people flowers when they're alive, and it's like that is the actual truth. Even though there's nothing wrong with reflecting on people when they pass, because sometimes when we're going through the day-to-day hustle, you're not thinking about death every day, but there is a finalness about death that makes you think like, oh shoot, let me reflect and look back. And that's why the stream goes up, because now you're going back and remembering, and then just hearing these songs and all these hits that some of them I haven't heard in years. And I was like, oh my God, this man, really, he wasn't some bullshit dude with a couple of hits here and there. Like, yo, he has a catalog.
Good.
A legit
movies.
Romy Must Die. The first time everybody in high school was like, yo, DMX is in it. Jet Li is in it. This is the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And yo, DMX
actually
was a decent actor too. He was a decent actor too.
Yeah,
man. Yo, did y'all watch that Mad TV skit I sent?
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Yo, it was great. Yo, it was great, man. And and you see his acting chops. Like, he knows how to like build chemistry. Like he was like truly an artist. You know what I mean? And that what makes it even more like what makes it even more brilliant is knowing like, yo, this man really came from the real gutter. You know what I mean? He was like an abandoned child, like in and out of prison.
Wow.
You know, so his mental torment came before drug abuse.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
he was
Wow.
being he battled all types of demons, not just drug abuse. You know,
Wow.
he had familial abuse. I mean, I don't know if he was ever abused
Yes.
sexually, but that's a very common theme when it comes to poor settings as well. You know, that's a very common. That's something that happens to a lot of people that come from the type of
Dysfunctional
life that he
households.
comes from. Yeah, you know what I mean. And just to see, but that shows you, like, yo, brilliant people are on every level of society. Yo.
That's real.
Man.
You know what I mean? And these are the things I'm taking away from DMX's life. I'm like, yo, brilliant people are everywhere. People who have something valuable to offer to the world, they are everywhere, yo. And we need to start being able to recognize it, whether they're famous or not. You know?
Shit,
You know,
there's
the
You know what I
thing
mean?
is, the thing is, it takes a certain kind of heart condition, a certain kind of compassion that I know is lacking in people these days for
yes.
people to understand that and to even act upon that. Because just like you said, if a crackhead walks up to you, you can be like, "Get the fuck out of here, junkie," and then you keep it moving.
Yeah, for real.
Whatever. Like, you see his fingers. You got jokes like the Kevin Hart bum bumps. You know what I'm saying?
Bum-
What you know what I'm saying? What if bum bumps is like the next Chopin or something? You ain't gonna give him no chance. He's like, yo, you smell like pee. My nigga, get away from me. So,
Mhm.
it's
that's
so
just
funny. It's like, yeah, it's so funny when you say that. I don't know if y'all remember that crazy incident where there was a homeless man who had his face mauled off by a guy who was taking bath salts back in
Bath
Miami
salts.
in
Mm.
a
Miami.
couple
Oh
years ago,
wow.
several years ago.
Mhm.
And then I ended up reading the article, and this may sound corny, but when they detailed his life, the guy the victim of that attack, I teared up because I was like, oh my god, how crazy it is! This guy's life path brought him here. He's gifted. That homeless man. He went to Stuyvesant in Manhattan, that gifted high school back in Manhattan, and then
Wow.
fell into a bad streak in his teenage years, and then was after his teen years, and was in and out of jail for like the last couple decades, and then that incident happened where he was attacked like that, but everybody's thinking of like, yo, guy's face gets eaten off, and I was like, I don't care about that, even though it's horrifying what happened to him, but I'm like, people forgot, like, this is a whole life that whose potential got squandered somehow. And
Mhm.
this is what happened to him. And nobody's thinking about the person. They're thinking about the craziness of the situation. And
Exactly. The
it kind of
sensationalism
reminds
of
me,
this.
yeah, the sensation of what happened, and not like, yo, this is a human being who had potential, who's possibly brilliant. And
Hmm.
they just fell on misfortune and were never able to get out of it. And it just kind of reminds me of like what you were saying, Greg. It's like, yo, you don't know the potential of people, but you can't forget to be a human and see people's humanness even in their worst state.
Mhm. That's
That's
good. That's
true.
good.
But
I love that.
also the thing is though, because we can't do that for every single person, it also just lets me know that, yo, do that for the people, at the very least, for the people that you truly know. You know what I mean? The people that you know well enough were like, yo, you're going through this thing right now, but whatever this is, I know this is a you. You know what I mean? And at least reserve that type of compassion for the people that you know well enough that are
Right.
that their spirit is actually above what their body is going through.
Right.
That's what that's
So well
what
put.
DMX is.
Bars. Snap back.
Bars.
Yeah, put the
Yeah, yo,
spoken
right?
word snap.
God damn. Wow.
All
I
right.
mean, I mean that's just how I summed it up. I genuinely thought I would cry, when when DMX finally passed. And I'm sorry to say this, I knew it was a wrap. Once I heard the news, I'm like, yo, it's a wrap. Like he already died.
Brain dead. Yeah, I told my
Yeah.
sister, who's a medical professional, who will probably be on this podcast
Yeah.
one day. She said, "Yo, once you can't come back from being brain dead."
Brain, yeah.
So I was like, "Oh my god!" At that point, I knew. That's when I was like, as soon as the news hit, just like you, Greg, I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. The end was near. Yeah.
Yeah, and and this is not to invalidate also the people that were praying for him to come out of this.
Yeah,
but I'd rather DMX just leave a legacy behind than come back as half of a man, somebody who can't be who he was as we remembered him. That would have been way more torment than
for him. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been way more torment for him. But
a good example. I was just gonna say, a good example would be Muhammad Ali.
That's
watching
exactly
him.
what I was thinking too. I was thinking the exact same thing, where it's like a shell of his former self. Where it's like you can't make the jokes, you can't do the bars, the funny rhymes, and you're like, yo, I see you here physically with me, but you're not.
That's brutal. I don't even know how his family processes that. I mean, we've dealt with that on our own, with our grandfather. Knowing him being quick fire, fresh mouth dude, and then to see him completely disoriented like a child, I was like, this can't be life. It's crazy. Yeah. So, I don't want that for anybody.
No, that's why stem cell research needs to happen. Do it.
So going into science, perfect segue. So Elon Musk, he said recently that he could, possibly recreate, Jurassic Park with, these new neuron links that would be connected to. I don't even know what they would be. Are they building the dinosaurs and then they're just letting it go wild? Because I see the neural links are being put into monkeys right now to play Pong, and then it's working. Like the monkeys are playing Pong really well and. It's fascinating, but it's like, will it? If they make dinosaurs, we've seen the movie. Are they gonna end up taking over again? Like, what's
Let the movie serve as a cautionary tale. Don't do this. Why would you want to do this?
Yo, for real, like,
God.
And also dinosaurs. We're starting to find out, like, dinosaurs basically look nothing like what has been.
They're giant birds.
Yeah,
giant birds.
They look like They look like giant birds. They had feathers. Dinosaurs had feathers.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
ostriches creep me out. Okay, I don't want to see that.
So ostrich chasing you is basically a raptor chasing you with feathers now.
A boulder, freaking skyscraper size. Ostrich!
Like hell no.
Why do you want this, Elon Musk? What is this gonna do for me?
For real.
And the one T-Rex that gets out,
me, like, man.
Mark my words. They're going to mark my words. It will be discovered that dragons were real.
Yo,
it will be discovered.
Let it happen. Let it happen.
As he shows his dragon tattoo.
Oh, well.
No, that means they're gonna eat you first. They're gonna be like, "Oh, we a joke to you. We a joke."
Nah, love them majestic.
This is gonna really think they're Khaleesi out here for real. It's like it's real.
Nah, because like it's too many cultures that talked about that shit at many different points in time. It's like,
yeah,
they didn't even fuck with each other. How do they all say of this one creature that breathes fire and has scale? It's like, you know what? That shit, maybe.
All cultures, reference it. When all cultures reference it, or something has to be some type of truth to it. Yeah,
that's how all the best movies start. A legend goes that Kulibala, the ancient. You're like,
they say most legends are based on truth or some type of truth. Yeah, so you never know.
Exactly.
You find out later on it was a centipede they were really scared of. Like, what is this?
And they try to explain it away. Mind you, no one's seen anything like this before. Look at it. Why they had to say it was that big though? Okay. But no damn 13 feet long. To them, remember, ants are the only thing they've seen at that point. So when the centipede shows up, they freaking out.
The legs.
Oh, okay. So
It's
they
the
were
legs.
Haitian people. That's what it was. You know?
Got it put. Oh, sorry for the crying. Oh gosh,
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
But
Oh,
Elon Musk Jurassic Park, don't do it, bro.
stop.
Don't
nah,
do it.
don't do it.
It's a bad
And
move.
yo,
I mean,
Elon Musk. Go ahead, Derek. I'm sorry.
oh no. Because I was gonna say, later on, hopefully the neuron links. He was talking that it could be used for, helping people with being paralyzed and stuff like
Alzheimer's.
this. Yeah, all these different like
You know what I'm
medical
saying? Let's
conditions.
do that first.
Let's do
Okay?
that. But like, how do you feel? Getting stuck with a chip into your, a rechargeable chip getting stuck into your body. But I mean, it's helping you. But how do you guys feel? It's like a tracker, sort of ways. I feel like.
Just like, go ahead, Greg. Finish your point. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to follow. I was just going to follow up what Derek said about the tracker thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
We already have that. We're holding them in our hands right now.
Wow. Shit out.
You're right.
And it's to the point. It's to the point where, like, I don't know many people who wake up and don't look at their phone as one of the first things they do
the
in the
moment
morning.
they wake up.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you know
So,
where I
like,
go?
now-
Instagram. Why?
Mhm.
Why do I go to Instagram as soon as I wake up? What's on there for me? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Badasses.
Mm.
Ow.
The truth comes
Hey,
out.
now.
Nigga, look, I'm not here to front. I have Instagram so I can look at fat asses.
Nothing wrong with
Sexy
it.
ass woman.
You a grown
There's a lot
man.
of sexy women. There's definitely a lot of sexy women.
They're posting it on their own will.
Thirst traps.
You know.
Thirst traps. No one told them to
Yeah.
do this. They're addicted to the likes. The same way we're
That's
addicted
real.
to the views.
It is true.
That's
And
very true.
Instagram pretty much replaced Facebook for me, so
Yeah.
it's just me looking at random crap.
So, right? Laughing, learning.
that I don't need to be looking at.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm-
One thing that my Instagram is, I could say is I have a good mixture of things. I have some things that I'm learning, some things that are just brings me joy, and then some things it keeps me updated with the news. As bad as some of this news
Isn't
is,
that crazy?
Oh,
Like, there was a joke like, yo, if you get your news from Instagram, you corny. And I'm like, yo, that's where I get all my news from.
that's how I'm updated.
I don't have cable, so that's the fastest thing where it's like, oh, just in, breaking news. Oh man,
It's like the quick little summary sum up for the week. You go through scroll through an hour, you're gonna find something new. You're like, I didn't even know this happened.
I'm
'cause-
saying though, like, where are we supposed to really get our news from TV? The same motherfuckers that we've witnessed tell lies over and over again for over 30 years now.
so,
Like, nigga, I've been watching CNN. I've been watching CNN since I was like 8. Legit, when CNN was a premium cable channel. And them motherfuckers been telling lies since then.
Mm.
All right, so we're supposed to do. So it makes people special because they get their news from CNN and MSNBC. Motherfuckers who are known. Like, this isn't even a secret that they're a fucking mouthpiece for the intelligence agencies to push, just to push certain narratives, so to sway the public in whatever direction they want them to go in.
Yeah.
And it makes it.
Who does Fox work for? Because CNN is for the, you already kind of know who they work for, who they lean for. CNN is very Democrat friendly. Fox News is Republican friendly. So who's backing Fox? CIA? Who got them niggas?
Well,
this is what is y'all call double shot? Whatever the fuck
Yeah,
this
right,
called.
This is double tap conversation.
Double
But,
tap.
They're on to us.
but the rule of thumb is all of them are under the thumb of these agencies.
Marty and friends. Yeah, kids. Anyway,
Okay, yeah, let's leave this shit alone. Anyway,
Lord we'll come back on next week. I'm not gonna be able to articulate. The people. Yo, what happened to you?
Oh, you know, how about those heat tickets, huh, guys? Get your COVID passes.
Cannabis. I'm telling you that's what happened to cannabis, son.
Like you talk to Ubali you talk
to That's it. Yeah, man. That was it.
So in other news, we had DC. What was his name? Kevin. Not Kevin.
Ray Fisher.
No. The director.
Joss Whedon.
John Whedon. So we just got reports, or at least not just recently. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot recently had just came out that he had threatened her career during the reshoots, or so that to saying your career won't be nothing. I can make it to nothing if you keep continuing to input your ideas. Now, Ray Fisher had said this about a year ago. Now, this was a black man saying this a year ago, and nobody even bat the eye. But since she may be female. I don't know what the reason why the article broke as big. I'm guessing that it's because she is a female, but and then she has the two movies, two leading movies. But that's why I'm thinking it. But what do you guys think? What's going on?
I think that's spot on. She had Ray Fisher's part got cut right at the knees. He was basically a cameo, barely a supporting actor. In the original Justice League because he spoke his opinion, and Gal was coming in off the strength of the first Wonder Woman. So she was already a more bankable person, and she wasn't as outspoken about it. Because remember, all these people are under NDAs when they are with these films. It's now like David Ayer talking, Chris Terrio, who's a comic writer, who's voicing his grievances with Warner Brothers. All these people coming out the woodwork now, it's because they were under contractual obligation to shut up. Mm-hmm. So while they're still working for the studio. So people kind of say, like, why now? Or why this? It was like, no, well, first of all, they tied their hands when they're getting paid whatever they're getting paid by the studio, they can't talk. Mm-hmm. And that's why he couldn't say anything now. Even Ray Fisher, he couldn't even give the details of what happened to him until now. So there are all of these things, and plus Gal Gadot, she was already Wonder Woman. That was a big success, so people were going to take her word way over Ray Fisher, who was in a movie that was technically, and it's not even fair. Justice League still made money. It didn't make Marvel money, but it still made money. Exactly. All those DC movies made money, and the ones that made the least amount of money were the ones that came out after they booted out Zack Snyder, which is kind of crazy. They tried. It's like not like even BVS. That's not a flop. That movie made its money. Mm-hmm. Justice League is technically a flop because it's technically a flop only because of all the reshoots and all the extra shit that they did that wasn't unnecessary. But I think you're a bigger star. Race plays into a factor. That's a fact. She was bigger than Ray. Ray didn't get the shine that he was supposed to get because he didn't want to say booyah, which I know that's in the comics. That's what I've heard, or better yet, that's what I've read. But it's corny to me. Oh yeah, to me, I'm like that works in like Teen Titans. That might work, but in supposedly a serious, more grounded film, it would have been out of place and kind of corny. So I understand his reservations for not wanting to do that. And if you started out with Zack Snyder's vision, which is a lot more serious, a lot more moody than say what Joss Whedon was trying to do, it would have been out of place and corny. So if he spoke up and said, like, look, I don't want to do that. That doesn't make sense. And they tried to cut him at the knees and say, well, fuck you. You gonna get 5 minutes in this movie, bitch. And that's exactly what the fuck happened.
He literally did.
I mean, do you think the Joker? I don't want to deter it from this, but the Joker, since he got cut out, you think that was one of the things he tried to talk about, or it was just?
I don't think that was cut out. I think that was part of the reshoots.
Okay.
He got his situation. It's different, but it's different. His situation. He acted like an ass on set, and I think his scenes were bad, and people just couldn't get behind it because I'm like, yo, for the little bit on the scene, niggas rejected that shit like a bad transplant. in his little piece of scenes in that damn movie. So it's like, nah, bro. It's like, yo, if you was in a movie for only 5 minutes, everybody flipped the table when you was on there, them scenes had to have been bad. Mind you, I think it's his is different, even though it should have been handled differently. He shouldn't have been played like that. I agree. I'll give him that. Like, nah, they handled it messed up, and he should. Yeah, their situation, basically in a nutshell, his situation is different, but it all falls under the umbrella that WB, even though they had good reasons to cut certain things out, like it's weird because Zack Snyder, I can respect what he was trying to do. I like the dark theme. I'm okay with all the dark shit, the evil Batman, evil Superman. It works if you do this, if you tell the story right.
People, that's hot.
I think I'm like, yo, if you do an Elseworld of alternate version of something, that's dope if you tell it right. But I don't think he's a good storyteller. I think he's a fantastic visual director, but he's not so hot at storytelling. So I understand why WB was like, look, this ain't hot. But the problem is WB Warner Brothers didn't have good solutions to the problem. They just created more problems. So it's like everybody kind of effed up in different places. So, but then it's like, who's to blame? And I think it's a little bit of everybody, but Warner Brothers should have had the foresight to say, all right, look, we like your vision, but we need to fix some things here and there, which is what they tried to do, but their solutions didn't fix the problems that were happening. But with Ray Fisher, yeah, you shouldn't allow any toxic BS on the set. I feel like you don't need that to have a good and successful movie, even if that person had success elsewhere. Every new project is a new beast. Don't come over here and act like an ass. Be professional. Be professional. Yeah. And that's it. There's no reason to tolerate disrespectful, weird behavior because they made some money elsewhere. And like, that's not going to bring you money. And it didn't. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand this system in Hollywood. Hollywood's mad dysfunctional. It's if there's ever an industry that is a blatant example of, the good old boys club, like literally it's ran by a couple of friends and they're allowed to fuck up and control everything. Hollywood is that shit, because it's like the nonsense you hear about that goes on. It's like, why do y'all even do this? Why? So
Hollywood, the music industry is another one. You could just simply get blackballed or and that's it. You'll never work in this town again. That whole thing, like that shit is real.
This shit is real. And then there's people who's like, yo, they can wreak havoc everywhere and they're just allowed to fail up and keep getting blessed with new projects. I'm like, yo, you just wreak havoc over here. Why are you getting work? Why are you getting a special? Who's buying your shit? But it's like, nah, it's like the same 5 people that run the whole damn industry. So they keep putting their friends on even though they don't belong.
Exactly. It's the same 13 dudes that are like, you want to be in a movie?
And talented, deserving people keep getting sidelined, or they have to shuck and jive and swallow and eat messed up stuff to work. And I think this never-ending drama with WB and DC is a reflection of that.
So what do you think is the true problem? Do you think is the producers, the directors that they're picking up? What do you think is the chairman?
The people in charge, the decisions that they're greenlighting, it's like, this isn't detrimental or beneficial to anything that's going to come, This isn't going to do anything but further its hindrance on, becoming its, reaching its full potential. The stories that people want to be told. How they want it to be told. It's not like we don't know look at the message boards, look at the comments on these posts. It's there for you. Everybody, I sure hope Batman uses 5 batarangs between his fingers when he I sure hope he uses all 15 styles of martial arts he studied. It's like, okay, so write this down, make sure he does this in the movie. And then they do something where he's doing ballerina moves or some shit, and they're like, well, we didn't know what we told you.
So how come they're not making these? Because, if you guys have seen any of the animated shorts that they do, they are marvelous. And then, so why are they not bringing these people in to make their movies, or at least write the story and then go ahead and create that vision? Because you'll see these movies go totally left from anything, the comics, you have comics that are written from years that date years of good solid material to use. So why
Mhm.
are you saying, oh, this is all great, let me throw it away and I'm gonna create
Right.
garbage?
And you know what? That's the thing. Like the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe just proved that you don't have to go beat for beat
Mhm.
like the comics and still be successful as long as you tell like Nikki just
Exactly.
said, tell a good story. Tell a good story, make it make sense within its universe. Like, okay, Captain America didn't have superhuman strength. He was just the like Olympic level, like the best a human can be. But they made him superhuman, and you're like, all right, yeah, I can dig it. And like they made it make sense. He's not like uppercutting buildings and something crazy. He still had, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I could get down with this within the parameters of this universe, and it's stuff like that. Like DC tried to do that with the Batman, killing people. He's like murdering criminals and branding them, and everyone's like, Batman doesn't kill. It's like, no, 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 wait, wait. Let me see where they go with this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I
Tell,
was down
tell,
for.
tell the story. Go ahead.
I like mean Batman. I'm with it.
I like Mean Batman. He was terrifying.
So now I pose this question: do you think the fans have too much power? Because recently you're seeing a
Yes.
lot of trends where a lot of the fans are demanding, like the Snyder Cut. They demanded it, and then they were what WB felt obligated to go ahead and put it out. And then now you're hearing that they want what's the next movie that they said they want to continue the universe. If it gets enough
The
fans.
Snyder universe.
Yeah. So do you feel the fans, because when they're mad, they want a reshoot of things. They want things to be fixed, later on. Because you see in the changes that they fixed a lot of items that the fans were having issues with. Giving more story to people. Do you feel the fans are having too much power, too much say now into what the directors, vision, they want to produce and give out?
Greg, go ahead. What do you say, buddy?
Oh shoot. Yes and no. Really, this is the studio just recognizes an opportunity for a cash grab. So they're just gonna go with it. It's like shit, that's what the people want, that's what's gonna guarantee you get a return, fuck it. Let's just go that
Yeah.
direction, and that's that. Like that's just how I see it. Yeah, the fans do have power, but at the end of the day, the studio still does what the fuck they want to do. And like y'all, like the going back to a previous point y'all made, how they just recycle the same people.
Mhm.
And what's crazy? They'll recycle people from different studios too.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Different franchises. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck was fucking Daredevil.
Exactly. Yeah, we
That's
said
right.
this.
Yeah.
Michael B.
So
Jordan
he's
was the
MCU.
Human Torch and
Yeah,
Killmonger.
Yep.
exactly. What's his name?
Michael B.
What's his
Jordan
name?
as Human Torch and
Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Yeah,
Colin
Mhm.
Farrell's the Penguin, and he was the Deadshot, whatever the hell it was.
Bullseye.
Bullseye in
Right.
Daredevil.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
but what's the name? Ryan Reynolds was the Green Lantern, and then he switched over
Deadpool.
to
Deadpool.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
two leading roles. There you go. Yeah,
yeah,
that's two
straight
villain
up.
roles, two
Chris
leading roles.
Evans. Yeah.
It goes on and on and on, man. So yeah, they do a lot of that too. And also, I hope that the studio also starts to understand that they can as long as they just do everything right, they can grab a nameless person. As long as that
Yeah.
person fits the role, that shit will
Yeah.
be a hit. They just gotta
Yes.
portray it right.
Yes.
That's it.
Agreed.
Facts. Like it's not that
Agreed.
hard. There's talent out there. You could get somebody like, oh yeah, he did 3 plays. Mama, don't turn that sunshine around, and then like something like this guy, we're gonna make him a star. It's like this guy was
That was Ray
crying on
Fisher.
stage from one of his eyes. Like, look at this kind of unusual talent. This Moon Knight.
That was
Yeah,
Ray
now
Fisher.
Moon Knight.
He has a Broadway background, a theater background. Ray Fisher.
Who?
Ray
Oh.
Fisher. He was
Ray Fisher.
unknown in the
Okay.
movie. In the movie,
What was he in before? Has
he
he
was.
been
He's
in
a theater
any?
guy. He's a theater
He's
guy.
just pure theater.
I believe so. Yeah. He's a
Mm,
theater
nice.
guy.
So that makes him a true diva because those theater motherfuckers be really smelling themselves when it comes to acting.
I am the star. Projection of
I'm a
voice.
thespian. I'm a thespian.
Exactly.
You know? But Ray Fisher, I hope he gets his I hope he gets his a chance to actually play Cyborg, because with the Snyder cut, at least we get to see like, damn, like he had an actual role. He wasn't just black superhero.
Yeah,
You know what I
he
Yeah.
was
mean?
great. I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, when he was helping the lady. Spoilers. When he was helping the lady, like he was tracking her and saw that she wasn't making money. That he put money in her bank account. I'm like, oh yeah, if I had that power, that's what I would do too. You see, they made him relatable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, so
What's your
You
good.
know,
favorite scene out of the Snyder Cut?
There was one scene physically I remember because I screamed at the TV when they were saving people, and then they instead of making Flash scared like they did in the Whedon cut, he was like making jokes and helping people, and then I think there was like some rocks that were about to fall on people, and then he like super speed fucking started taking all the rocks, but it looked like strobe. It was like and he's like
Yeah.
knocking all the rocks. I was like, oh, why did they not put this in? This was yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. That was my one scene. I was
shit.
like, oh.
Yo, Nick, what's yours?
Well, I have two. The one was Funsies, the one with the Flash. I thought that was super dope, and it's almost confusing and mind-boggling why they cut that and put the other nonsense in. I don't understand that. And actually, this is a hot debate because I've researched online. It seemed the nightmare scene. That's been 50-50. Like some people loved it, some people didn't care for it. I loved it, even though I feel like it was ill-fitted in the film. But as a scene itself, I thought it was great and had great potential. And I was like, this was actually really cool and compelling. The beef and the tension between Joker and Batman. I thought that was dope, and I like
that was very
dystopian
well
future.
portrayed. Fucking kill you. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You meant that shit.
And in that scene, there's two times I actually appreciated the weird Joker laugh that he does, that Leto does. I'm like, yo, they're all about to die, and he's just in the background, and I'm like, that's kind of funny though. I like that.
Chaos.
And the one time in Suicide Squad, it was like, it shows you like how things are cut. It shows you the power of editing. In the trailer, they had like they played his laugh, but it had like a reverb, like it was in the hallway. So it had like a weird echo when they did that and the WB sign would move every time he did that. I was like, yo, that shit sounds kind of freaky and crazy. And I'm like, damn, if this was edited properly, his Joker might have translated a lot better. But I think his onset antics fucked him over, and it taught him a nice lesson. But it's cool to see him kind of bring it back and do a better portrayal, which I enjoyed in that nightmare scene.
Word.
Greg, what's your favorite scene?
From Justice League, I really appreciated how Wonder Woman, when Wonder Woman was saving those kids in that, what was it, a bank?
Yeah,
was it
that
a
was
bank?
dope.
Yeah, that was dope.
So yeah, when she was deflecting those bullets, like that made me think about the latest Wonder Woman movie, and it's like, yo, how trash the fight choreography was in that fucking movie, yo.
The spoilers, the rope fight at the end.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
It was so trash, yo. The last Wonder Woman was so trash, yo. But to actually get to see Wonder Woman like move like a fucking superhero, that I'm like, yo, that's how Wonder Woman should be portrayed. You know what I mean? And don't just lean on the fact that she's, I'm a woman with like that. They did the same thing, with the Cyborg's character with Wonder Woman, like just be happy you got a woman that's a superhero. Like, nah, Wonder Woman's the fucking G, my nigga. Like, yo, make her move like a G. Like, get real fight choreography going on. Like, make her move.
Exact. Like, battle trained since birth, practically. It's like, yo, show this.
Yeah, Snyder is good at that too. That's one of his fortes is the fight choreography. He's really good with that.
Absolutely.
See, that's where my favorite scene. That's my favorite scene is when you see Ares, Green Lantern. You seen all of them joining the fight.
That was so.
You cannot say it was an epic. Just seeing everybody on screen. You seeing Zeus sending lightning. Man, it was amazing. That part had to be one of my favorite parts in the movie. Seeing him get cut by Ares right at the end, and then just
Darkseid was getting bodied.
see at the end that even they kept the marks of where his the axe hit him and everything. So it
Wow.
was that's what I
And the
loved.
slow motion victory screen at the end. I was like, oh my god.
Yup.
Goosebumps. This is oh
But I did have
man.
some problem parts, you know. So in the beginning when they went to go meet Aquaman, why did I have to sit through a 5-minute chant?
Singing.
Bro,
I hate that scene
That was weird.
so damn much. I'm like,
Wilele Simbako. And they all folded up his jacket, mad soft. I'm like, what the hell is this?
smelling the
Yeah.
sweater. I was like, who did this? Nobody laughed.
Why?
I could see why this didn't make the cut. I could
Yo.
see why this did.
Why?
That's two beefs I got with this.
Lambo.
That Aquaman scene, that weird ass shit that was so unnecessary. The excessive slow mo and them stupid Wonder Woman chanting that
Yeah.
happened every 5
oh
minutes.
yeah, that was.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
funny.
That drove me crazy. That I was like,
You know,
yo,
it sounded, man, yeah, it sounded like he grabbed a soundbite from Xena the
Yo.
Princess Warrior.
I'm like, yo, this is not even the Wonder Woman theme in the other movies. Like, what? I was like, why? Who did this? Every time.
Yo, every single time she showed up. Yeah.
Like, no, man.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh.
that the music director for that needs to go sit in the corner for like 2 days. It's like,
They gave him too much shine. Yo, you did a great job. Yo, just freestyle. We need 4 hours. Go ahead. You know, it's just like, wait.
it's like you don't do this.
I need filler. Go ahead. You know, like. Oh man. So, you know, go into that. That's great. So what do you guys think about Paul Pierce? Does anybody know what the details? Because I'm a little shaky on the full details. I've seen a couple videos online, but anybody know the full story?
Ananji, take it away.
Supposedly he said FAS, but you know, besides that and having the strippers in the video and going on IG Live, which is wild. I don't even understand the logic behind that. It's like, you know, you're a public figure. You know you have a job. Why would you stream yourself live on IG? That nigga had to have been high. He had to be high, and I don't get it. I was like, you know what your job is. So I don't care that he's doing that so much. It's like that's his life, I guess. But bro, you know the deal. Like, so
Is it because he's a public figure that it's wrong, or is it because you know he's under the umbrella?
Strippers? I don't know if strippers are. I mean, look, that's always frowned upon everywhere. But the fact that nobody had masks on, and then you're literally supposed to go in, you got to go in to work the next day. You don't know if nobody got
vaccinated.
COVID.
You know,
Yeah,
you have people that are getting vaccinated. So I can give you a point to everything that he did was legal. He's in a legal state doing legal stuff because that is a private event, and he's just putting it on live. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, you know, he's right to go ahead and you're public favorite. Endangering who? Remember, this is a private event. So if I invite you to my house, you're gonna wear a mask over. You know, I mean, you can, but if you're spending the whole weekend over, you're gonna wear a mask the whole weekend. I mean, you're at my private residence.
When you're around me, yes.
I don't know. I don't think people care. I don't know if everyone cares about the mask. It's just the fact that you have lewd behavior in the internet when you represent a company, you're a public figure. There's just some shit you have to deal with when you're a public figure representing a company. Like,
well, yo,
I don't know.
What's the age demographic that watches that show? It's not 10-year-olds. That's
fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Sports.
Even if, you know, if my news anchor, you know, most little kids aren't watching the news, but if you catch a news anchor snorting coke, you know
what I'm saying?
Like, yo, nigga, you got
it. Most likely do.
when I saying don't do it, I'm just saying I don't want to see it.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your private life private. The fact that he broadcasted it, just like, you know, even though his is not the worst infraction, like some other dude. There was this lawyer who used to comment on CNN regularly, got caught beating his meat on Zoom. I was like, yo, like, how the fuck you do that?
Oh.
But I don't know. Can
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
hear
you good,
me?
you good.
Yeah. Can y'all still hear
Yeah,
me? I
you're
don't
good.
know. But yeah, he was fired. And it's like there are certain things like sexual imagery, lewd imagery, drug use, anything that's salacious, and you have a public job where people are gonna recognize you in the street, you just you can't show that side of your life. It's not to say that you can't do it on your private time, but you can't get busted and it can't leak. That is the trade-off. So,
They said
and I think that's fair.
they were saying that if somebody else was recording it, it would have been fine. But since he posted it up himself,
Yeah,
that was where the clause fell. And Disney being a super clean company, I guess that was one of the things to get him to part ways.
Bro,
yeah.
Disney. Don't get me started on Disney. That's dinner talk. Anyway. Yo, I think it's just nonsense that he got cut. Nobody cares that he was in a room full of strippers. The nigga is somebody. Nobody gives a fuck. Yo, I look, man. Look, he's a dude that traveled the world. He made millions of dollars. He's going to
He was
get
an
pussy.
NBA player before,
Yeah,
so it's not
like
like he's.
NBA
It's
players do
viral.
the biggest wars.
True. Okay.
I think if you're in the age that your dirt gets broadcasted and is gonna be reposted forever, it's like do your bullshit, but don't let your bullshit affect our brand. It's branding. At the end of the day, it's branding. And if people are gonna keep reposting and talking about it, they don't want that shit. And it's like, it's branding at the end of the day. So
Okay.
just be smart about what you post. Nobody's saying he can't do this or that, but it's like there's certain shit, there's aspects of your life that really aren't meant for public consumption. And it's a company. They want to be able to sell their shit, whether it's to the Mormon niggas, the stripper niggas, the pimp niggas, but they want to keep their image neutral. So on a business standpoint, yeah, that makes perfect sense. It's like keep your bullshit as your bullshit and nothing else.
Okay. All right. And then anybody else have anything on it?
Nope, that was perfectly put.
Yo, I have nothing. I have nothing to say about it. Honestly, don't care that. What's his name? Paul Pierce. I don't care that he was being an adult. I don't care. It's
Right.
not.
I
I
mean,
just
I
don't
don't think
care.
anybody's offended or mad or gonna cancel him, but it's just like, yo, don't. The company is like, yo, don't fuck up our optics. Like, get out of
The
here.
optics. It's all about the
Like,
optics.
don't.
Could you imagine your boss at your job? If you see him doing that stuff, you probably assumed, he's, touched a woman or, had, but do you want to see that? People are, yeah, sex stripper company. And everybody laughs in the room. So, yeah.
Exactly. As a teacher, she got many ago. Tampa Bay teacher was taking Gasparilla picture. This was they found her MySpace and reposted that shit everywhere. It just sucked that she got fired on a public platform. Hell yeah.
Well, there's an example. I have another example where a teacher didn't get fired, right?
Yeah.
She had a sex tape, and he was fresh out of high school too.
That's wild.
And she's getting chopped the fuck down on tape, and that shit leaked. And the school district was like, "Well, no, we're not gonna fire her because she's within her legal right. He's an adult legally. He's not a member of this. He's not a member. He's not a student of this institution anymore. So she was doing something that's private. Unfortunately, it got leaked, but we're not gonna fire her, yo. Know what I mean? So that shit is just straight politics, and they're just doing shit just to make themselves look a certain way, man. The fuck out of yours. Paul Pierce deserves to get his job back. Now, if he doesn't care about the job like that, then it is what it is. But
like I
all
said,
that shit is
I'm sorry.
politics, man.
Like
No,
the
that's all I'm
firing,
saying.
I don't take the firing personally, but it's like these are private entities and they can pick and choose who they make an example out of. So if you fuck up knowing good and well what their clauses are, what their laws are, you be ready to take the L, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
if it
It's
was
just
in the
like,
contract, you can't be
yeah,
caught on camera doing wild shit. We didn't say don't ever do wild shit because we're not your parents or we're not
right.
around you 24/7, but we don't want to see it. And he
Yeah,
showed it
and if,
himself willingly by going on IG Live, like, look at me, guys. It's like, yeah, bro, you
yeah,
should have known. I don't feel bad for you. You
I
knew
don't
good
feel
and
Well,
bad
well.
for you
yeah.
either. It's like I feel
Well,
indifferent. It's like they could keep him, all right, cool, but they can him. Hey, charge it to the game because you knew what the rules were. You know, you signed the contract, so it
so
is what it's gonna.
more to the story is keep your debauchery to yourself.
Pretty much, I would
Pretty
think that's
much.
the common sense, but
Some
you know,
people don't keep it private. They want to put it on IG. So
Man, that's real. That's real.
yeah.
So it is
yeah,
what it is. He probably he violated the terms of his contract, and hey, that's his fault.
yeah,
But
exactly. You know what it is.
it is what it is, I guess. But I'm not, just speaking from somebody on the outside looking in. I don't have any feelings towards what he did. I just don't give a shit. And y'all
Hmm.
already know me. I'm not like a super sports head anyway. So when I hear shit about when I hear shit about an athlete, you might you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just telling me like you basically it sounds like wah 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 when people start talking about you know what I mean when people start talking about athletes because
Okay.
yeah.
that's
I
just me anyway.
personally,
I don't know.
yeah. I don't. I think most people don't really care, but it's just like, look, you pissed your boss off because your boss doesn't want your crap all over the internet, and then they see you on TV the next
Can't
day.
blame them.
So
You can't
Yeah.
blame them.
and
Keep.
they're gonna pick and choose what things they feel like they don't like and what they don't. So it's never gonna be even keeled. It's never gonna be the same for everybody, and it also is gonna be dependent on how much noise your particular offense, quote unquote, makes. So if your shit made a lot of noise and made a lot of rounds and is trending on Twitter, and it's like, no, we want subscriptions to be trending on Twitter, not your bullshit. Like you fucking up our ends, they gonna catch you.
Exactly. Like if let's say another one of the anchors got caught drinking, like he's drinking a beer on camera, then people are
Yeah,
gonna be like, "Look, he's drinking." It's like, all right, yeah, but he doesn't have titties in his face or a blunt. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like optics. It goes back to
yeah,
optics. So
yeah. Some people
Okay.
might like that shit. Whatever.
So
Well,
yo,
over
how
the.
long has Shaq been on TV? And there's videos of him smoking weed before weed became like a cultural norm, or before it was accepted as a cultural norm, because it should have been normal forever.
Mhm.
But yo, Shaq's posted videos of him smoking weed before. Like like shit,
It
wasn't
depends
that
on how
that
much
last
noise it
video?
makes.
Yo,
maybe
It
that
the
was
depends
last
on how
before
video.
much
social
noise it
media
makes.
was prevalent. Yeah, I don't
No,
know.
son. No, it wasn't before social. It was when social media.
It depends on the noise. It depends on what it is. Some shit you could do can be scandalous and people don't care, and care. I don't think like cancel culture is not very. It's not very even keeled. It's not always rational. So it just depends. And I think yes, the thing that you want to fuck up in the U.S. sex stuff, especially in these times where everybody's hypersensitive about sex stuff. You know,
Mm,
optics are gonna be right now it's not smart for a dude to look like they're doing degrading shit to women, cheating on their wife. That's not a good look right now.
exactly.
Is it kind of phony? Yeah, because people gonna do what the fuck they want to do, but optics wise, it, there are certain things that may not fly. Maybe like 2 years from now nobody's gonna give a shit, but in the right now you pinged on the wrong radar, so he's paying the consequence. And
It's
Yeah.
the same
it's
thing to bring it back to the Ray Fisher joint where race was a hot button. And he was saying this, during the height of racial tension, saying that, oh, they were mistreating me because I'm black. And everybody's like, oh, here comes the black card. He's got a bit. It's
uh-huh.
like, no, it's true. It was the
Yeah.
timing and everything. So just like you said, if you're trying to bring up, like you said, people are trying to degrade women or whatever, then it's not a good look right now in the heat of the moment.
No.
Okay. All great, valid points. I love it. I love it. All right. Did over this weekend we had a great performance on IG on Versus. Now I just want to know, did anybody catch the Isley brothers and the Earth, Wind and Fire Versus?
I did. Steve Harvey talked too damn much, but it was great.
From start to finish, I was there. I was anticipating this one because it had songs that I knew. A lot of the category stuff, I was like, yeah, that's right. I'm old school. I like this. Give it
Yep.
to me. And I was there. And I like Steve Harvey's stories. It gave it weight. It made it feel, it validated the fact that they had him host. Because if it was, could you imagine if it was like, what's the guy who used to be on 106 in Park?
AJ?
Terrence J.
Terrence?
Wow, Isley Brothers legends. Let's go to that song. That's it. You this song is history. This thing's been sampled 59 times. Tell a story about how does it make you feel? Yeah, my mom's liked it. Next song. What? Get Steve Harvey telling his bicycle stories or his supermarket job, sneaking the back to listen to record. Give me that. You know what I'm saying? Let's be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is when that came out. I wasn't even around for that, you know?
Yeah. How many? Yeah. Well, so because I mean, you heard so many samples from just listening to the
Oh,
just the 2 hours it was.
magical.
You heard so many samples from the music from there, and people were like, "Oh, this is where it came from." All the kids today don't even know. They don't know that a lot of this
Man.
music was copied from both of these guys.
The
You
Queen
know?
Pen joint, that shocked me. I was like, the party ain't a party joint.
Yeah, I
Yo.
didn't know
I
that.
was like, this is an Earth, Wind, and Fire song? This is amazing.
Yo.
Oh, yeah, man. It was good music all around. I loved it.
Now
Yeah,
I
it
heard
was.
there was some controversy. Oh, go ahead, Nikki.
No, I'm agreeing. You can follow him.
Oh no. So I heard there was some controversy, and then Nikki, you know a little bit more about this. You mind tell everybody?
Oh well, yeah. There's a blogger on Instagram that he usually posts about a lot. He gives a lot of historical tea, quote unquote, or gossip. Well, not so much gossip, but like behind the scenes facts on older acts, older artists from the past. And I guess in the comments somewhere during that performance, it came up that some people were criticizing Isley Brothers for playing their catalog that was written by R. Kelly. And he made the point that, there's a lot of self-righteous overlords on the internet criticizing the catalog and catalog when in reality the entertainment industry is rife with bad people, but also on the same token there are more good people in the entertainment industry that didn't commission these bad acts, but they shouldn't be punished for what they created and separate the music from the person. So there was a bit of debate in the comment section on his post about that. I thought it was pretty interesting. It's one of those things. It's gonna come down to what they did and how connected their work is to what they did. Like, it goes without saying. It's like we know how talented R. Kelly was. He
Hmm.
is. He understands music. He knows how to compose music, even though that nigga can't even read or can't read notes. But he understands sound, and that's a
Absolutely.
fact. That is his gift. However, in his ability, the things that he did on his own time were very messed up and very dark and abusing young girls and women. He pulled from his life and injected that into his music. Now, I sincerely believe,
Exactly.
yeah, and it taints the music, especially when it's sexual, and then his music
Absolutely.
is
That's the
recounting
separating factor.
it's literally recounting his assaults on these girls and women, and it's gut wrenching for me. But it's like it'd be one thing, if it was completely separate. Now I believe if he never was to do these things, that his music ability does not come from his assaults, but him being a person. A lot of artists draw from their lives and they inject that into the music they create. And I think I think he has a natural ability and was always gifted, but it's just that his day-to-day life was messed up because he was, of course, he was sexually abused too, that doesn't give him an excuse, but he drew from his experiences and melded and merged that with his natural talent. Now, if he separated those two, I think if he never did these shits, he would still be cranking out hits, beautiful melodies, great songs, regardless of the fact, because I think that's innate in him. But it's just that he merged his crimes with his art. So it's just like, yo, you really can't cherry pick this kind of stuff. But I'm never going to criticize people that enjoy his music because nobody sent him out there to go do that shit. Nobody said, oh yeah, go rape these kids and come back with these hits, even though in the industry they don't give a fuck. But but you know, as a fan, nobody was like, oh yeah, I don't give a fuck about Aaliyah. Fuck that bitch. Play them tunes. Nobody's thinking that. Nobody's doing that. So I'm not gonna judge people for that. But it's like now knowing everything, like for me, it's uncomfortable to hear my body's calling you, you know, AJ nothing but number, because I'm like, oh shit, you just basically hiding in plain sight. So it hits different for me, but there's some other people that's like, look, I don't care. This is not what I was thinking when I love this song, so I'm gonna play this song. It's like, yo, you really can't come at people. But at the same time, I'm not gonna give R. Kelly no bands either. So, you know, this is always gonna be a debate thing. There's never gonna be a concrete way to deal with him, but whatever money that his catalog makes should go straight to victims and rape organizations, something that's meaningful and not in his pockets.
Everybody wins. Absolutely. If they did, I would finally listen to Ignition. Okay. Peace, knowing that not a cent of it is going, you know what I'm saying? Like you see, they're good songs.
Wine for me. Oh, that was my shit.
Yeah.
Yo, it boils down to this. What happened?
I was gonna say, y'all remember Toya? You remember that shoot?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. So many things, so many freaking songs. It's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, R. Kelly got a strong ass catalog too. You know, and also, if we're going to quote unquote cancel R. Kelly, all right, cancel every single motherfucker that basically turned a blind eye to his actions also.
Agreed.
Which is everybody, bro.
Everybody.
So I mean, don't count on any of his money going to any type of social cause, because the people, like, he was in those rooms with other songwriters, producers, label execs, fucking young ass kids too. All right.
It's true. It's sad truth, yeah.
You know, so honestly,
so do you feel like he should be completely canceled or no?
No, he can't be, because you go look at his Spotify numbers, and that's just his Spotify. But look at his Spotify numbers. I'm pretty sure it's still in the million.
Yeah, there's nobody that's that, like you said, moral policey enough. There's not enough people that are like, this is wrong, to be like, hey, I want to hear Toya right now. and you know, it's like, hey. Then they fall down the rabbit hole of just like, you know what? Let me hear Slow Wind on me. Let me hear this. Okay, best of both worlds. I'm gonna play that itch right now. You know, so it's like, it's at the end of the day, it's music. As a matter of fact, I just made myself fiend for some best of both worlds. That album was. Anyway, but yeah,
I did not like that album for nothing. I just could not.
Yeah, I didn't care about that album like that.
Best of. Come on, son, that shit was hot.
I think that was one of Jay-Z's weakest efforts. Yeah, look at Jigga, all in. This is after PP Gate now. This is after PP Gate.
Oh yeah. Nah, that's definitely one of his weaker albums, but.
Yeah.
Some of them songs slapped. Okay. Girl, you know you got a body, yaddy. Stop it. Track masters. Okay. Poke and tone. All right.
Word. Look, the best collaboration Jay and R. Kelly has ever done was what's that joint?
Not guilty.
Kelly, not guilty.
Nah, not that one. After the club, it's the after party.
Woo!
Fiesta, the remix.
Son,
you see,
son, that was the best Hove and Kel's collaboration. Yo, Trackmasters is shit at one point.
Yeah, they came and went.
Shit.
I was gonna say the one thing about Trackmasters, this shit does not hold up.
Nah.
You know, there's music that's timeless. If you go back and listen to a Trackmaster shit, you be like, this shit is low key trash.
This is Spanish guitar loop shit.
Yeah. Like that's not even a real fucking guitar. This is the worst. This is Disney
But
Channel TV show level.
music.
Okay.
But you loved it.
At
Did
the
they do
time,
Jagged Edge?
absolutely.
Did they produce Jagged Edge where the party at?
Where the party?
That might have been no. That might. I think that was what's his name? Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jermaine
okay,
Dupri.
yeah,
I
you're
was
right,
just
you're
thinking
right,
that.
you're right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Another
You're right.
monster in the
That song holds up though.
Yeah, that's a classic. That is a classic.
That's a classic.
That did come out in that Spanish guitar era too, though.
Oh, Spanish guitar eras.
Son, R&B had their eras. The
Little
water drop era. Remember?
Girl, your body was an era too. That word, everything was about bodies. I don't know. Everybody.
My body.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Everything body was an era.
Yo, it was ridiculous, But
But going back to that versus battle, versus battle was fire. And as a big
great.
Earth, Wind and Fire fan, I'm sorry, I gotta give it to the Isleys. They had more hits spanning across. They were
so
together
many.
longer. When they played Shout, I was like, shit.
Bruh, Blues
Earth, Wind, and
Brothers.
Fire wouldn't even.
I
wouldn't even
text
a
my
thing when
brother.
the shit dropped.
Yeah, I
But
text
yo-
my brother because my brother every freaking
You know
Saturday.
you make me
Blues
wanna. I was
Brothers.
like, damn. That's not even the 70s, bro. This is. God, it was like, nah, you gotta give it to him. You gotta give
A
it
lot
to
of people
him.
don't realize. Isley Brothers has been rocking since the 50s, yo.
Yeah, doo-wop. They
son.
started out in doo-wop.
Yeah.
Doo-wop. That's a
Mhm.
long ass time, man.
Yeah, that's like
That's
60
a
years
long
of
ass-
music. 60 years of music.
Pompadours and you know what I'm saying, bow ties, all of that.
Yo, smooth.
Yeah.
Dude came out smooth. Yo, I'm not gonna even lie. I'm jealous
That's
of his beard.
crazy.
I want his beard. Like, just put that on my. Like, that shit was smooth, man.
But low key, that made me feel more comfortable with going gray because the way the women was blowing up, I was like, oh, okay. This is what I got to look forward to. Okay. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Don't sleep. Women, there's a lot of women that love seasoned men.
That's
A
true.
lot of women.
Many women love season.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like the smell of stability.
Okay.
The bones
I'm gonna
get
tell you
denser.
like it is, and you're gonna like it. Yes, I will like it. You have a 401k. Your honesty. You're comfortable within yourself. Your flabby body. I'll take it.
It's true.
It's like, yo, stop doing push-ups in a second, just so I
The young dude is for them to get their rocks off. The old dude is for stability. Damn it, stability wins every time.
reliable dependability.
I'll be
I
there.
low key don't like it just for that because I want to be able to turn a woman on at the age of 50 as well. I mean, I
That's
don't
true,
want to just be the found, the somebody
The sugar daddy.
by the children. But all right, I'm gonna mute my shit. Y'all know what I'm saying, but y'all go ahead and talk as I kick these children out the room.
Yeah, I'm still trying to evade them.
Gonna herd the children out. All right, this way. Come on, get.
I mean, this could be a great stopping point. I mean, we covered all the topics today. Unless if anybody has anything else they want to go over.
No, I'm content.
No, yeah, that was a solid debut. I liked it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you. This has been episode 1 of TOR. I'm your host, Derek.
I am the relative Alex.
Relative Nick signing off.
G signing off. Janky ass podcast. Now I'm telling
He's fired. He's not in this more.
Nothing janky over here.
TOR signing out. Have a great one.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right.